I said one of the marks of dysfunctionality, which can also involve being trapped in your childhood mind or trapped in the past, is that such individuals tend to be violent. Violence in the society oftentimes is because such individuals were raised by violent individuals or raised in violent environment. And when you are raised by violent individuals, you see violence as a norm. Physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, these are components of violence. Maybe you grew up, for instance, in a place where they used to curse a lot. One of the implications of that is that you may no longer understand the gravity of words. I've heard things in this life. When some people conjure curses, this is not just stepmothers, stepfathers. This is mother to daughter. Because sometimes there is the tendency to heap up your own frustration on your kids and just release words. Or sometimes in places where children grew up, they saw being told to get into the room because dad was about to beat mom. That's going to affect their psyche about life. Unfortunately, some of you saw the things you ought not to see when you were growing up. You saw your dad and your mom sometimes maybe they got physical, or they used words on each other and curse at each other and say all those things. Maybe you even grew up in a place where you've had neighbors come to help settle a fight. And many of you may not even know that it's not normal for your parent to want to beat you and you have to run away and it's neighbors that are begging. Those are small acts of violence. And somehow they affected your esteem. They affected the quality of individuals you were becoming. Probably some of you grew up in places where neighbors knew the shout of your mom. That when someone is talking like that, he's beating the wife again. There was a family around us growing up. At least every Sunday they will fight and get each other naked. Listen. When children see things, it doesn't just show them what is happening, it shows them what is possible. There are possibilities you don't have to know about. Because once you know it is possible, you have the tendency of repeating it. Some men have become violent, some women have become violent, and they are still saying, after all, it's not as bad as my parents' marriage. Because there's one that they've seen as a standard of violence, and they're like, and you will not know when it gets to that point and even go above it. I think I saw a video when they were asking children what their parents call each other at home, and one said idiot. It's not normal. And when children are raised from such background and they're hurt like that, they want everyone to feel their pain. All right, some things that happen in society are not normal. That's the offshoot of defective family structures. It is the duty of parents to come together to help their children build healthy emotions. Some parents don't know that the way you slap that child can be an act of violence. Children should be corrected. All right, yes. But there are corrections and there are some that are product of frustration. Maybe you had a bad day. I've seen people slap their own children and the child gets hospitalized. This is not family members now. This is mother or father too. Some of you still have memories of one particular beating you can't forget. There were many, but there was this particular one. Maybe in the process of the beating, they were hitting you also with leg. You are not a criminal. And that thing it doesn't leave the mind. And the emotion of such a person has been scarred. When you ought to be soft, you may not know when you become so hard. Hard with words, hard with your actions, hard. Because your emotions have been scarred. Sometimes you should not really be afraid of conflict in a relationship so you can know how deep the other person is. What can you say? What can you not say? I regret the day I met you. I regret the day I saw you. You call yourself a woman. So you call yourself a man. You. Those are words that may not go away, even after the matter is sorted. Don't use temporary emotions to cause permanent damage. And sometimes the reason why you do what you do is because that was what was mirrored to you while you were growing up. Let me say this to you. The fact that you ate something in your parents' marriage doesn't mean you can't repeat it or even do worse. It is not enough to hate dysfunctionality. You must deliberately put yourself on the path to have healthy emotions and to build healthy homes. Are you still there? Are you getting tired? All right, so I need to take this systematically because they're important. It is not enough to hate what you saw. You must put yourself on the path of building healthy emotions. Healthy emotions. Anywhere you find yourself, the people will have a taste of what your background looks like. Are you there? Why do you talk the way you talk? Why do you do the things you do? Because it was communicated to you. So, check most times. You will never see anyone coming from a home where father and mother got it right. Serve God and pick a gun on the streets to go kill people. You never find. Most times because the hedge is broken. And now the children are the victims. In fact, in most cases, some can't even trace who their father is. That's why I said a father. A man is not a father because he got a woman pregnant. You are not a father until you nurture. Are you still there? A father nurtures, stays around, help his children form, help them become. And the most important way to do that is to model what is right. What you model is more powerful than what you teach. That's the most important way to do that. To model what is correct. How about cases where children grew up knowing their father is in the prison? Most cases, they tend to become violent also. Look at it. The first mention or the first demonstration of violence in the Bible was from a dysfunctional background. Cain and Abel. You see, dysfunctional background is not necessarily a background where father and mother have gone separate ways. In as much as they are not in their God-ordained path, it is dysfunctional. Adam and Eve had left God, right? They've sinned. And now, from nowhere, Cain killed his brother. Where did he see that? There are things that are not possible in an atmosphere of correct priesthood. They are not possible. They are not possible. Who taught him to pick a stone to strike his brother on the head? How did he know that? Instinct. Because of the environment. See, there are questions to ask yourself. If I say yes to this guy, are we going to come together to make the world a better place? If I say yes to this lady, with an angry man, thou should not go. That's what the Bible says. Are you with me? So you can study Genesis chapter number 4 when you get back home. Also, something quite close to that is the word crime. The tendency or the ability to commit crime. Most times are offshoot of defective family structure. Stealing. Different kind of crimes. And most time because there was no one to model how to do life correctly. Oh, the blessedness of father and mother coming together to bless their children, to speak words over them, to counsel the children, to demonstrate what is correct. Oh, the blessedness. If you look at it, you see that the devil doesn't want any home to be fine. He wants to distract you so that you don't have time for their formation. And they begin to manifest different tendencies. This is not an African thing, it's a global thing. Okay? That some children, they don't see, before we start judging people, some people have nowhere to call home. They have to sleep under the bridge and find anyone. And when they're exposed to the community like that, they teach them nonsense.